December 1st, 1941. 6 days before Pearl Harbor, somewhere in the middle of the Pacific, the ocean flashes, and a ship appears that will not exist for another 34 years. The USS Nimitz, 100,000 tons, nuclear-powered. A flight deck longer than 3 football fields. 64 aircraft, 2,500 tons of guided weapons, and 5,000 crew who all know exactly how this war ends. The rules. 1 ship, full magazines. No resupply, no reinforcements, no way home. Facing it, the largest navies of 1941. All of them, if it comes to that. The question isn't whether it wins its battles, it's what runs out first. 1941 versus the future. Let's run the experiment. Round 1. December 7th. But first, the strangest fight of the week, the phone call. Try convincing 1941 America that you're on their side, when your ship doesn't exist, and your radio shouldn't either. In the end, the crew does the only thing that works. They radio Pearl Harbor the exact details of an attack that hasn't happened yet. 6 days after arrival, the radar picket sees it. 353 aircraft in 2 waves forming up north of Hawaii. The radar plane sees them from almost 300 miles away. In 1941, radar barely exists. The strike force is flying in perfect formation, in total confidence, straight across a screen it cannot imagine. The carrier launches everything. 44 fighters against 353 attackers. Each jet carries up to 10 missiles that hit from beyond visual range. The Zero's top speed is 330 miles an hour. The missiles arrive at nearly 10 times that. But run the numbers. 440 missiles against 353 planes. And missiles miss, and guns run dry. They break the first wave, they shred the second. And when night falls, the carrier keeps flying. 1941 cannot fight at night. The future doesn't notice the difference. And still, a handful of bombers get through. To attack a harbor that was warned an hour ago, Pearl Harbor still gets hit. It just doesn't get destroyed. The battleships raise steam. The sky was full of flak. History's most famous surprise attack becomes history's most expensive failed one. Verdict: the surprise is canceled. The war isn't. Round 2. The fleet fight. Now the carrier goes hunting. The 6 carriers that launched the strike are the finest naval force afloat in 1941. They die without ever seeing an enemy. A modern jet with guided bombs hits a moving ship from outside the entire detection range of 1941. To the fleet below, the sky is empty. Then the flagship's deck explodes. 6 carriers. One afternoon. The escorts can't shoot back. Their guns can't reach high enough, fast enough, or far enough. In real history, the Battle of Midway took code-breaking, luck, and sacrifice, and it turned the entire Pacific War. The Nimitz does Midway before lunch, 6 months early. One honest caveat: the carrier arrived alone. No escort fleet, no screen. And 1941 has one weapon that can still touch it. A submarine at night with patience. Its helicopters hunt submarines for a living. But this is the one game where 1941 gets to play too. The carrier stops anchoring. It never sails straight. It never sleeps. Verdict: not a battle, a demonstration, with one eye on the water. Round 3. The fuel problem. Here's where the countdown starts. The ship itself is nuclear. The reactors will run for 25 years without refueling. The ship is not the problem. The airplanes are. Jets drink a kerosene-based fuel called JP5, and the Nimitz carries about 3 million gallons of it. That sounds infinite. It's 16 days. 16 days of continuous flight operations, and the tanks are dry. Fly carefully, a few sorties a day, no patrols, no training, and you stretch it to months. But every launch is a withdrawal from an account nobody can refill. 1941 refineries can make something close to jet fuel. Kerosene is old technology. What they can't make are the additives, the purity, the filtration. Dirty fuel doesn't stop a jet engine politely. It destroys it. So the most powerful weapon on Earth spends most of its time doing the one thing nobody in 1941 would believe: sitting still, saving gas. Verdict: the ship outlives its airplanes. Round 4. The parts problem: a missile is not a bullet. It's a small spacecraft full of microchips, built by an industry that won't exist for 50 years. When the last one is fired, there will never be another. Not from any factory on Earth. Same for the radars, the engines, the arresting cables. 10,000 tiny components with no 1941 equivalent. The air wing starts cannibalizing itself almost immediately. 2 broken jets become one flying one. The maintenance crews call it what it is: organ donation. Every month the deck gets quieter. Not from losses in battle, from arithmetic. And jets need jet pilots. There are about 40 of those on the planet, and every single one of them is already aboard. By year 1, the most advanced strike force in history is a dozen flyable jets hoarded like crown jewels, launched only when it truly matters. Verdict: every sortie costs a piece of the future. Round 5, the endgame. So the jets wind down, the missiles run out, and none of it matters, because the deadliest thing aboard was never the air wing. It's the paper, the manuals, the charts, the 5,000 people. The Nimitz carries the complete answer key to the 20th century. Radar, jet engines, nuclear power, medicine that won't be invented for a decade. Everyday engineers from 1941 climb aboard and take notes with shaking hands. 5,000 crew become 5,000 professors. The machinist's mate teaching metallurgy, the corpsman teaching medicine, the cook, honestly, teaching logistics. American industry doesn't have to invent the future anymore. It just has to copy it. Because one ship can't blockade an empire or hold an island or be in 2 places at once, the war still needs the whole Navy. It just doesn't need 4 years. The crew knows every battle that now won't happen, every design flaw, every dead end that wasted years. How much earlier the war ends is a genuine argument. Every version of the argument ends the same way. Sooner. Much sooner. And the ship, decades on, it's still afloat. Reactors still humming. The most studied object on the planet. Verdict: the deadliest cargo is the paperwork. So, what runs out first? The honest order: first the missiles, then the fuel, then the parts. Inside 2 years, the air wing is a memory. And the pattern, one more time. Modern machines are glass cannons. Point 1 at 1941, and it breaks everything it touches, until the calendar breaks it back. But this time there's a twist. Machines run out. Knowledge doesn't. 1 ship, 6 days warning. 0 battles lost. And the thing that actually wins the war fits in a filing cabinet.